Thank you for inviting me to offer remarks for this event on the human costs of landmines and cluster munitions. I welcome the publication of your 2025 Cluster Munition Monitor and Landmine Monitor Reports. The information in these reports has been invaluable to me and other policymakers over the years. As you have documented so well, landmines and cluster munitions cause indiscriminate harm. Not only do they maim and kill civilians, they inhibit communities' economic development, food production, and sense of safety. We often think of the dangers of these munitions as a legacy of wars fought decades ago, like in Vietnam and Laos. But they are also used in many of today's conflicts, such as Ukraine and Myanmar, sowing the ground with hidden dangers that will injure or kill people far into the future. I strongly believe that the United States must be an international leader in ending the terrible toll on civilians caused by landmines and cluster munitions. We have a duty to act. The suffering caused by these weapons is something we should not tolerate. In fact, we should commit to end it. There will always be those who argue for their necessity, just as there were people who argued to keep mustard gas and chemical weapons. They were and are on the wrong side of history. Unfortunately, some are moving backward. Fearing further Russian aggression in Europe, some of our allies are reconsidering the goals of the Mine Ban Treaty and Cluster Munitions Convention. War-torn Ukraine has become the most heavily contaminated country in the world, with millions of mines scattered across the landscape. Make no mistake, we stand with our allies for our friends in Ukraine and against Putin's territorial ambitions. But we should not cede the moral high ground by criticizing Russia's actions only to emulate them ourselves when faced with difficult choices. Congress should align U.S. policy with the Mine Ban Treaty and Cluster Munitions Convention. We must help reignite the global consensus to ban these weapons once and for all. This may be difficult in today's political climate, but when confronted with the moral imperative, we cannot stand down. I'm encouraged to see many gathered today for the launch of the 2025 Monitor. You have my commitment to work together towards a future free from these horrific munitions. Thank you.